Hi everybody, I'm Tim from troutandfeather.com. I've done a video on the 5 things you need in fly tying. I did another video on the 5 things you don't need, and I've realized, guess what? There are more things you do not need. So here are 5 more things you don't need in fly tying. Stay tuned. I'll put links in the description to the other videos in this series, but let's jump into these 5 things in descending order. Number 5, exact materials. It is okay to substitute. Let me say that again. It's okay to substitute, and I get it. If Tim Flagler says, use this hook, or Devin Olson says, use this material, then I want to use that hook or that material because Tim and Devin said so. But guess what? It's okay to look through your materials, look through your hooks, and find something else because in many cases, that substitute may do a better job. Don't be afraid to see what else you got, and don't be afraid to substitute a different material, hook, or whatever else in fly tying. Number 4 is a hackle gauge. I know what you're gonna say. They tick all the boxes. They're cheap, they're easy to use, they can live right on your vise. I mean, I get it. However, I've used mine less than a handful of time over the last, 20 years or so. Now, for somebody who buys a neck and then takes every hackle off, measures each hackle and sorts them, by all means, keep using your hackle gauge. But for the person who's just using hackle here and there occasionally, especially necks, all you simply have to do is take that hackle, put it over your hook, size it based on the proportions of the hook, and then tie away. Hackle gauges, gone. Next, I have to be careful here. Fly shops for all of your fly tying material. Now, whenever I look through my material collection, there are so many things there that have come from my son's toys, my wife's places. I don't know, there's Ziploc bags that I use for scuds. I mean, there are so many other choices that we all have available to us. Anytime you're out somewhere and you look at a material, think to yourself, can I tie a fly with this? More than likely, the answer is yes. In my book, Fly Tying for Everyone, I even talk about the notion of using a coffee bean grinder for blending your dubbing. I mean, to me, it just made sense. Please don't tell Heather that's where our coffee bean grinder went. She will never forgive me. Continuing on, and let's talk about tying with scissors in your hand. I used to go to fly tying shows in the past, and whenever I would see a tyer who was tying flies with scissors on their hand while they tied, I used to think to myself, wow, that person must be a master fly tyer. Spoiler alert, they probably weren't. In reality, they're just very coordinated. They're coordinated enough not to tie a fly and either cut their thread or poke themselves, which some days I am, some days I'm not. But hey, you do not have to tie with your scissors in your hand to be a master tyer. Could it speed things up a little bit? Sure, but it's not necessary. Finally, the last thing that must go in fly tying, how about barbed hooks? I mean, seriously, I wrote an entire book on fly tying and I had nothing but barbless hooks throughout. And I'm proud of that. Now, there may be some instances where you can enlighten me why you would need a barbed hook. I'm thinking maybe musky fly fishing, saltwater, and I'd love to read down below in the comments why else you still use barbed hooks. But in my experiences, barbless just completely outweighs the entire barbed argument. When you have a barbless hook, it penetrates into the fish a lot better. It's way easier to get out of the fish, and it's way easier to get out of you and me in case an accident would happen. So by all means, go barbless. Do not look back. If you still own a bunch of barbed hooks, like I still do, I'll put a video link on the screen right now where you can learn how to debarb those hooks prior to you tying. Barbed hooks, get out of here. So in fly tying, we absolutely love things, but we don't need them all. Or do we? All right, seriously, now it's your turn. Comment down below on something in fly tying that we no longer need. And I'd love to hear you argue against some of the things that I mentioned. I mean, that's what this is all about. Learning from one another. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you'd like to watch more like this, you can check out my website, which is troutandfeather.com. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them down below, or you can email me at tcammisa@gmail.com. If you're into social media, I would love to connect with you. I post, besides on YouTube, I also post on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, I mean, basically everywhere. Plus, I even love to post on TikTok. So with all that said, thank you so much one more time, and I look forward to seeing many of you soon.